Today, we embark on a journey through the life and achievements of a distinguished clinical psychologist, a name that has left an indelible mark in Nigeria and beyond. In the vibrant hearts of the Federal Capital Territory, one man has been on a transformative journey. His family background is rooted in the Karo district. This journey began with his Baptist father, Kasua Zamani, and his mother, Jummai Victoria Zamani. May she rest in peace. Who nurtured him in a loving and supportive environment, along with his siblings, provided the foundation for his future success. Born in 1962, join us as we explore the inspiring life story of Professor Andrew Zamani.
I have grown in a very closely knit family. My parents, were very strict but very loving. They set examples for us, so it was very easy for us to follow in their steps. We grew up seeing a very strong love bond between our dad and our mom. None of our tricks could ever separate them, really. None of our tricks, because there were times that we tried to knock them against each other, but it never worked. To the extent that the only way you could survive in that family was to do right and to ensure that whatever misdemeanor you committed was not big enough for your mom to report you to your dad. Because if she did, that would be a very serious ticket to capital punishment. So we learned to do things right. It was very easy for us to imbibe their values, and as the most senior child of the house, I got very easily incorporated into the elders' role, feeling a sense of responsibility both for my siblings, for my parents, and everybody around me that needs help. This is the way that I grew up.
Andrew's quest for knowledge became evident at an early age. His educational journey began at Baptist Transfer Schools in Kefi, Nasarawa State, and Shandam Plateau State, followed by his remarkable academic achievements at Baptist High School in Jos.
I grew up at a time that Nigeria was experiencing a major shift in her educational policy. Previously, people, before they joined primary school, you remember, they would have to be tested, and I think I passed the test because my hand could reach my ear from the other side. And so I was enrolled for a 7-year primary school program. But midstream, something happened between 1974 and 75, when 72 and 73, when the 6-year duration of education in primary school was enacted. And so it happened to be the time when, the Nigerian Baptist Convention transferred my father to Shandam, which was part of Plateau State. We called Shandam at that time Lower Plateau. So I went to Shandam to complete my primary school.
Although initially encouraged to pursue law due to his outstanding performance, an impactful experience directed him towards the field of psychology at the University of Jos. Driven by his passion for psychology, Andrew Zamani continued his education, obtaining both his master's and PhD from the University of Jos. His research focused on trauma and its impact on mental health, leading to groundbreaking discoveries and advancements in the field.
While in Shendam, I had the privilege of the presence of, the extended family. There were so many people, not less than 5 extended family members that joined my parents, at Shendam. And one of them got admitted. He was an uncle. He got admitted into a teacher training program. So he learnt about educational psychology. They used to call that, I've forgotten, principles of education. Yeah, but it was essentially educational psychology. So each time he came home, he would share the thoughts with me. One of the things that struck me was that he told me one day that, these people, they know how to read minds. And they read minds to help people. So I just interjected it. And I said, when I grow up, I'll be a psychologist. But my performance was one that made my teachers to say, you're going to be a great lawyer. You're going to be a great lawyer. I remember that for the first time, I acted a drama, The Undesirable Elements. I was the judge in that play, and I came through very strongly as one who would do very well in the legal profession. My vice principal then, who was an American, called me immediately after that and said, look, you must keep at it. You must keep at it. Another teacher who was an American, a female, encouraged me to pursue my interest in law, to the extent that she connected me with the late barrister Brown Peterside in Jos. He was one of the biggest lawyers in Jos, just to ensure that I got mentored into that profession. But in my mind, I wanted to be a psychologist. And what even attracted me most was the fact that the immediate past principal of the school, the one who left just before I came in, was said to be an educational psychologist. And my seniors who had lived with him, who had interacted with him, kept telling me about how they couldn't lie to him, how, anytime he met them, he knew what they were thinking, whether they were happy or sad, and so on and so forth. I said, this is the right place. I'm going to have a feel of it. And luckily, Unijos offered psychology.
Professor Zamani's story is a testament to resilience, innovation, and an unwavering dedication to enhancing mental health in the Federal Capital Territory. He is not just an academic, he is also the visionary founder of the very first mental health institution in the FCT, located at Gwagwalada University of Abuja.
I had taught at the University of Jos for 10 years, and I rose to the post of senior lecturer in 1999. But because of family issues and the fact that I needed to protect Madam's job, not being an indigenous of Plateau State, I decided to make the sacrifice. And so I founded the first mental health program in the FCT, through Gwagwalada Specialist Hospital at that time, which eventually metamorphosed into University of Abuja Teaching Hospital. I served there for 11 years and now decided that I had paid my dues at the hospital. But even before then, while I was teaching at Unijust, I taught principally medical doctors. I taught at the medical school in the Department of Psychiatry. And while I did that, I consulted also at the Jos University Teaching Hospital. So I felt that cumulatively I had spent about 22 years, in the clinical setting, and I needed to go back to the ivory towers to bring up younger professionals to teach them how to blend theory with practice. And I'm happy that this has worked out.
What started as a humble initiative blossomed into a full-fledged teaching hospital, profoundly impacting lives and transforming the mental health landscape in the region. While life inevitably brings its challenges, Professor Zamani Andrew openly reflects on his emotional journey, addressing the obstacles of seclusion in government participation within the Federal Capital Territory.
Because I'm indigenous to the FCT, I'll speak for the FCT. When the opportunity avails, I will advocate for it. I'll create spaces for advocacy until, my voice, together with others who have such similar passions, are heard. But I know that this is the same story in the Northeast. Right now, this is the same story in the Northeast. There are very many ungoverned spaces. Very many ungoverned spaces. Not because there is no government in place. These ungoverned spaces have local, belong to local governments. They belong to states. But those in authority do not care for the people. So there are people who are similar to the indigenous people of the FCT. There are local populations that, are victims of displacement, victims of internal displacement, that are virtually traumatized, that are pauperized, they cannot farm. And those who have cattle, are not safe because their cattle are rustled. This should not be allowed to continue. This should not be allowed to continue because, this insecurity will eventually eat everyone up. My worry is that innocent people suffer. Right now in the FCT, there are communities that don't have a potable drinking water. People go to the stream that are virtually dried up, and they share, drinking water with animals. And the plight of the girl child who is indigenous is terrible. They've been enslaved in the name of, I'll take you as house help and give you education in return. They've been enslaved. Most of the time they return to their parents with pregnancies, yes. And that is considered a vice against them. And we can go on.
His outstanding contributions to humanity have been acknowledged with the honor of a traditional title, Turkin Karu, bestowed upon him by Esu Karu, His Royal Highness Pharmacist Luka Panyambaba. Today, his narrative takes a different turn as he expresses gratitude for the present administration, embodying the power of change through personal experiences of seclusion, met with appreciation for positive steps taken by the current administration, including President Tinubu's paradigm shift.
Let me acknowledge the fact that President Ahmed Tinubu has led an unprecedented political paradigm shift by understanding the issues and responding to it with the best judgment possible. The indigenous people of Abuja have clamored over time to be included in the governance system of the nation, to be given a space in the Federal Executive Council. You know, that's in addition to having additional constituencies and so on and so forth for the National Assembly. We went to court, and this was led by Barrister Musa Payan Baba of blessed memory. A court judgment was delivered, a Supreme Court judgment was delivered in favor of our people. In this regard, the sitting government jettisoned it. The people went to ECOWAS court and won a judgment in this regard, but there was no attention given to it. President Ahmed Tinubu, despite the fact that the results showed that his party was not favored by the electorate in the FCT, developed a large heart and appointed an indigenous person to the position of minister. Full status. You know, this is unprecedented and will remain ever grateful. And in the management of the FCT, he has done something, you know, unequaled in the history of Nigeria, appointing a young man into the cabinet or the management of the Federal Capital Territory Administration.
His leadership journey began as a class monitor and ascended to senior prefect in school. He continued to excel, becoming president of the Nigerian Psychological Association 3 times and holding key roles in international psychological organizations. In addition to his academic leadership, he served as Deputy Director of the Center for Research and Information on Substance Abuse and Health positions in various foundations and organizations, including the New York University Global Ties Foundation and Strive Juvenile Project, focusing on the impact of terrorism on children in northeast Nigeria. In the academic realm, Professor Zamani's influence extended to editorial roles in esteemed publications and renowned journals, including Life Psychology, Gender and Behavior, African, and the Journal of Applied Psychology. But no journey is complete without the voices of those who stood beside the traveler. We will hear from Professor Zamani's family as they offer their perspectives on his path to success.
I've been married to him for getting to 32 years. I've already adjusted. I'm used to it. When he's not around, I play the dual role. Initially it wasn't easy, but now I think it's just natural now, because even the children have fallen into it now. When he's not even around, they play some of his roles. But the good thing is that once he's around, he does his own role properly until he's out. You know, it's not only within, sometimes he's out of the country for 2-3 weeks. So these are some of the things I do. Integrity, you can't take that from him. Highly principled, if there's any word more than that. And then he's God-fearing. He's hardworking. He's a workaholic. Anywhere you meet him, you even have to beg him to eat sometimes. So there were the things that, and then his passion for humanity. He loves human beings. So you can't take that from me. So that was what drew me to him.
For me, it wasn't easy. Of course, growing up as a child, you'd want to explore your options. I mean, the world is a big place to be. And it wasn't easy living up to some rules when you see your mates, your friends, your classmates do some things, play in some certain ways, sing some certain kind of songs, own some certain things, or talk some certain way about their own family, and you'd feel like, why am I left out? What am I missing? But growing up into an adult, I discovered that there's no regret whatsoever. And if you ask me, I will replicate what I learned as a child in my own family.
As an esteemed professor, Andrew dedicated a significant part of his career to nurturing future psychologists, leaving an enduring legacy.
Lifting and presenting in the context of an assignment or a project.
The sociology started at its infancy when the university was established. You understand? And he played a significant role to make sure the psychology department is the way it is now in the university, because I think it's one of the departments that has gotten accreditation over the years, and each time the department has never failed to get its accreditation. It is well equipped, well established with laboratory, thanks to the role that he played as the head of the department of psychology. He has also played significantly the role as a dean of faculty of social sciences, where he made sure that both in terms of infrastructures and scholarship and encouragement of the younger ones to develop themselves. He has played that role, and presently he is still making his own humble contribution to the development of the institute, one of our elitist institutes of governance and development studies. He is still playing that role, and I believe that his contributions to the development of both the department, the faculty, and the Institute of Governance is too numerous to mention. So such contributions cannot be underestimated from a rare gem like Professor Andrew Zamani.
In terms of working relationship, I don't think I've ever experienced working with somebody like Professor Zamani. He's someone that will always give you the opportunity to learn the job. Sometimes deliberately he will ask you to do this, not because he doesn't want to, but he wants you to do it so that he can see the areas that you need to be meant so that you can be able to do that. So Professor Zamani, in fact, for me, I usually describe him as a complete gentleman. He's a very good person, nice person, and that is why at any point in time, if something happens, good or bad, the kind of people that you see around Professor Zamani, you'll be surprised.
Zamani is somebody that if you interact with the first meeting, you found humility to his highest order. You will find an embodiment of knowledge. You will find an embodiment of transparency and justice. So those are the things that Zamani employs basically when he's dealing with people, and then in applying that to his area of specialization, where he treats his patients, which I've seen over time. And then incidentally, he mentored me, and then as his mentee, I found him undergoing through process of engagement. Zamani employs an engagement-based methodology in dealing with issues, for example, issues that has to do with addiction, issues that has to do with any other traumatic disorder. These are the things he usually employs whenever he is within the clinical psychology application.
Personally, as an individual, Prof. Zamani to me is more than a teacher, is more than just a mentor, because he has mentored many generations, and Surprisingly, he actually lectured my mom in 1988 at the University of Jos as a nurse. And today, I was his student from 2007 till date. I'm doing my PhD under him. So the experience so far and the way I'm not just speaking about myself, and equally my interaction with my mom and some of our colleagues have actually attested the fact that he has a great way of teaching difficult things or things that seems difficult in a more simplified way, using his personal examples, using his personal experience at work and in the field of practice. So to me, he is an exceptional lecturer, he's an exceptional mentor.
Closing words, Professor Andrew Zamani impacts invaluable advice, particularly to the indigenous people of the FCT, emphasizing the values of integrity, compassion, and dedication to service.
My final words to our young people is for them to keep on working hard, for them to have value for human life, and to accept people that they live with and to live with them peacefully. For them not to give up hope, pursue education with zeal and zest, because in the long run, that is what will place them where they ought to be. And in the final analysis, everybody would enjoy a happy space of citizenship in Nigeria.
In the grand tapestry of his life, Professor Andrew Zamani is a true pioneer in the field of clinical psychology. As he continues to make important contributions to psychology and his community, he remains an enduring inspiration for those striving to lead positive change in Nigeria and beyond. Professor Andrew Zamani is indeed one of the heroes of Abuja, worthy of celebration.